What's up, everyone? Today we're going over Jito Bundles. Let's get into it. And if you're not in the Discord already, get in here. We got a lot of alpha going on, a lot of people building really cool stuff. Come and chat. Come take a look at what we're doing in here. I think you'll enjoy it. All right. So jumping into the bundles. So in their docs, we're in the Jito Labs docs at their low latency TX send API. Basically, there's two methods here, which is send transactions or bundles. Mostly, these can be done depending on what you're doing. This transactions endpoint is for single transactions only. You can use it like a bundle, but it's only for one TX. But the bundles endpoint, which we'll be focusing on here, is for up to 5 TXs. And if you come down here to the docs, it's actually super simple. All it is you've got the layout of the request, and then each of these lines is one of your TXs. You can do up to 5. So what this would look like in our code then, let's just open up a cursor window, get a folder going. And in fact, let's make a new folder. I'll call it, maybe I already have this Jito Bundles folder we'll use. So, and I've kind of already built out, but start from scratch. So realistically, this is super simple, and you don't even really need imports for the bundle sending part. But you will need to build some sort of transaction from Solana. So import public key, connection. We're going to need a few things. Maybe we'll just put it right there for now. And then constant connection equals new connection. We'll set it to mainnet beta. Let me just save this here. Jito Bundle .ts. Okay. So we've got some basic imports from Solana Web3. We've got our connection. We've got, we're going to need a key pair, uint 8 array from JSON parse fs file sync. I think I have it in key pair.json. It might be one folder behind this though, I think. So, and then for that, we're going to need to import fs from fs. And then really, it doesn't matter what you're doing with this. In this example, we're going to do just a basic TX equals new, message, transaction message equals, sorry, let's back up. So we want new const xfer equals system program.transfer from to and the number of LAN ports. In this instance, I'm just sending it to myself. It doesn't matter. You can send it to some other address, but we'll use this in just a minute for the right way, which is, Seed already knows where we're going with this. So we need const tip addresses equals down in here in the get tip accounts, we can use this example here, and these are static, these don't change. So let's just do it right here. Curl, bam. So there's a result. All I did was paste that get tip accounts request into my Linux terminal. And if you're on Windows, you can do curl.exe instead, it will work. Or just use WSL, even better. So these are the tip accounts right here. So we're going to get that full array. Bam. And we're going to come back to our code. Const tip addresses equals, I'm just going to format this a bit so it's a little easier to look at. And it should be a, like I said, these are static. They shouldn't change. So having them hard defined like this in your code is totally fine. And then what we want to do is do a constant for random tip account equals, and here we go, new public key, tip addresses, math floor, math random, addresses length. What that does is that picks a random one of these based on its length. So picks a number between 1 and 8 basically, and there's your address. That is the random tip account. So we want to change our transfer to from pub key stays as it is. We want to use our key, and then 2 is going to be the random tip account. Okay. And then you could even have it dynamically calculate your tip, right? Like say we want to dynamic based on how much profit, we would add math for that. In this example, we're just going to go simple and do 100,000 lamp ports. Should be sufficient for a low competition TX, but obviously if it's something higher competition, you're going to need to do more. I think 0.01 Solana is about the highest I would go, but that doesn't necessarily mean you couldn't go higher if there was like a super profitable trade or something that needed to get bundled. Okay. So the one thing we don't have is anything of our own. Like we're not doing a TX yet, but we have the basics. Let's just build out the basics for the bundle. Okay. So const TX equals new transaction message, payer key. Oh, we gotta wrap this in a bundle or in a, sorry, wrap this in an async function. Function Jito bundle. Let's put this down here, Jito bundle. Okay, so this is all in an async function. So for the block hash, we've got this await connection, get latest block hash. And then for the instructions, X for, and this is actually, we're going to rename this because this is Jito tip. Jito tip. Just so we know that that's the tip instruction. And then, well, let's add in something that's an actual something we're doing. So we can just copy this system program transfer. It doesn't have to be a transfer. It can be a swap. It can be whatever you want. But we're just going to send from us to us. What is that? 1 million lamp ports or 1 billion? What is this? 10 million lamp ports. Just for fun, just so we have something to include in there. So that would go here in the instructions. And in fact, you can include like whatever instructions you want. In fact, we can do these all as separate transactions if we want to. It's not much of a reason to unless you are doing something that needs to be in multiple transactions. But that's done the same way. You would just have another transaction in there. But const ts base 64, and then we need to do, let's see. Oh, back here at our transaction message, we wanted to compile to v0 message at the end. I forgot to put that. And then, yeah, here we go. So on our TX base 64, we want buffer from tx.serialize to string base 64. And what that will do is that will output a base 64 string that represents the transaction. And in fact, we need to do one other thing first. We need to do tx.sign payer. Wait, what? Oh, excuse me. We need to do tx sign payer. Oh, this is actually message. We're gonna do const tx version transaction message 0, and then we do sign tx.sign pair. There we go. Sorry about that. I was getting ahead of myself and I forgot to actually make the transaction and sign it. So there we go. That's got everything we need now. And this is just logging the base 64 string just for fun. And then so you can do TX2, TX3, TX4, TX5 if you want to, for whatever you're building. That'll be up to you. But in this example, we just have the one. And in fact, we could, we just have it set up as one. We could have it as two, and we would just do another set of this for our first, transfer or swap or whatever it was, and include it that way. But so let's just keep going here. So const bundle equals await fetch, and let's see, that's not the right address. Let's just get the right one here. So const bundle await fetch. We come over here to the bundle documentation, and it's this address here. In fact, we want to make sure we're using the region specific address. So whatever region you're closest to, let's pick New York in this example. Await fetch, Jito, WTF, V1, bundle. I think it actually might be bundles. Yeah, it's actually /API/V1/bundles. So /API/V1/bundles. Make sure you get that right. And then down here, request example base 64. We basically want to copy this whole thing right here. We got an extra curly brace there. And we need a of those. I believe that's it. What did I do here? Oh. In fact, what we might do, const body equals, and then we'll put this body in there. And then instead of whatever examples for their strings, this is just this. So this is 5 of these right here. So we would have exactly like that, TX base 64. And if you had multiple TXs, you would do that one, whatever other ones, okay? Up to 5. And then since we're doing base 64, we definitely need this encoding base 64. And if you're doing base 58, use the base 58 documentation, but that's pretty much that. And then we've got bundle, method, post, body, JSON stringify body, headers, content type, application JSON. Okay. So that's pretty much that. And then what we want, console log, I think it's bundle.result, if I remember right. Maybe not. Bundle.status. We'll just have it do the full response. Why not? Is it bundle.response? No. We'll just have it do the full output and see what we got. Bundle sent bundle. So this should work as it is right now. If I got my key pair right there, let's test it out. I'm going to save that and then go to my folder here. We'll go Jito Bundle.ts. Failure, something, something. Okay, don't really know what happened there. And that was just a fluke because it did it again. So here's our base 64 string that represents everything we're doing. And here is the bundle response. This means this doesn't necessarily mean it's okay and like successful response from the bundle send does not necessarily mean that our TX went through. So before you set up bundles, make sure whatever TXs you're doing are going through, because a failed bundle just doesn't show up on chain at all. So just keep that in mind. Make sure that your whatever TXs you're forming work individually before you try to include them as a bundle, because you won't know what to do. You could simulate a bundle to kind of get that first, but you need a special RPC to do that. They don't do it on the Jito side, so I'm not going to include information about that, but you can ask about it in the Discord if simulating bundles is something you want to do. Anyways, so we've got a successful response from our bundle, and this is the full output. We could do status okay. Where's the bundle ID? We should have gotten a bundle ID. JSON.result. So we gotta parse the JSON, parse it as a JSON, and then we should be able to get the JSON.result. Let's try that. No. Okay, that one worked. Then that does look like a bundle ID. So don't know what's up with the errors that I'm getting half the time, but I'm about to reinstall my OS. But this is working. So this is our base 64 string that represents the transaction that we built. And this is the bundle UID. And you can look these up on Jito Explorer. Just like so. Bundle ID, included transactions, slots, signer, all that stuff. Shows the tip, shows whether it landed. In fact, if they don't land, they just don't show up typically. But that's pretty much it. That's bundles in a most basic form. You can include, like I said, up to 5 transactions. As complicated as you want, but it does need to obviously each transaction needs to stay under the, I think it's 1600 something bytes for base 64. So you can do quite a lot with 5 of those TXs. So just let you cook with all of that information. I'll upload a copy of this to my GitHub so you can check it out, play around with it, cook something up fun. Come show us what you build in the Discord. Thanks for watching, y'all. I hope you found the video helpful. Make sure to subscribe. Peace.